Imagine for a moment. Someone tells you your most cherished dream is impossible. They scoff. They dismiss it as unrealistic, a childish fantasy. What do? Do you surrender? Or do you dig in, proving them wrong with every fiber of your being? This isn't just a hypothetical. It's the true narrative of a young man who faced overwhelming doubt, yet held on to his vision with an iron grip. His journey reveals a profound truth. The only real limits are the ones we accept. Prepare to be inspired by a testament to unwavering belief. In a bustling town, nestled within a landscape where the rhythm of hooves often punctuated the morning air, lived a boy named David. His world was one of constant motion, defined by the nomadic life of his father, a dedicated horse trainer. From one stable to another, one racetrack to the next, one sprawling farm after another, their family rarely settled. For David, this meant a fragmented schooling experience, an endless parade of new faces, new classrooms, and unfamiliar surroundings. He learned adaptability, yes, but stability remained an elusive concept. Yet, amidst this perpetual movement, David harbored a dream as vast and unwavering as the horizon itself. He envisioned not just a place, but an empire, his own sprawling horse ranch, a sanctuary where he could nurture magnificent steeds, train them with patience and skill, and witness their power firsthand. This wasn't merely a fleeting wish, it was a deeply ingrained ambition, a clear blueprint of his future, etched into the very core of his being. He wasn't just dreaming, he was planning, imagining every detail of this future haven. The catalyst arrived in the form of a seemingly innocuous school assignment. Their teacher, Mr. Peterson, tasked the class with articulating their dreams and aspirations for the years ahead. For David, this was more than just homework. It was an invitation, an explicit permission slip to pour his heart onto paper. That night, fueled by a singular passion, David embarked on a creative endeavor unlike any other. He didn't just write a few paragraphs, he crafted a meticulous 7-page manifesto. Every word resonated with the clarity of his conviction. He described in vivid detail his future horse ranch, the specific breeds he'd train, the rigorous routines, the dedicated staff. But David didn't stop there. He went a step further, transforming his written words into a tangible blueprint. With painstaking care, he sketched an elaborate layout of his dream property, a sprawling 200-acre domain, complete with perfectly proportioned stables, expansive training arenas, and even the precise location of his future home, overlooking the magnificent expanse. He knew, with an almost defiant certainty, that some might dismiss his vision as overly ambitious, perhaps even fantastical. But he held an unshakable belief that every soul possessed the right to dream, to imagine a future unbound by present limitations. The following morning, his masterpiece in hand, David submitted his essay, a quiet confidence radiating from his determined posture. The day David received his graded essay back, his world tilted. There, emblazoned on the front page, was a stark crimson F, a brutal symbol of rejection. Below it, a terse, handwritten command: "See me after class." His heart, which moments before had swelled with youthful optimism, now plummeted, heavy with a bewildering disappointment. What had gone wrong? After the final bell, David approached Mr. Peterson's desk, a knot forming in his stomach. He asked, his voice barely above a whisper, "Sir, why did I receive an F?" Mr. Peterson, a man whose gaze often conveyed a sense of world-weary pragmatism, regarded David for a moment. His response, delivered with a calm, almost paternal certainty, was a gut punch. "David," he began, "this dream, it's simply not realistic for someone like you." The teacher then laid out the cold, hard facts. David lacked financial resources, his family's itinerant lifestyle offered no stability, and the sheer scale of his ambition seemed insurmountable given his background. "Rewrite this essay," Mr. Peterson advised, his tone firm but not unkind. "Choose a more practical, attainable goal, and I will reconsider your grade." The words hung in the air, heavy with judgment. Practical, attainable. These weren't the words David had associated with his boundless dream. He felt utterly crushed. His carefully constructed vision, his very future, had been dismantled by a single dismissive assessment. It was more than just a bad grade. It felt like a dismissal of his entire identity. That evening, the vibrant imagery of his 200-acre ranch faded into the shadows of David's disheartened mind. He sat alone, staring at the essay, the red F a glaring indictment of his ambition. His father, perceptive and observant, noticed the unusual stillness in his son, the slump of his shoulders, the distant look in his eyes. He gently inquired about David's day. With a heavy sigh, David recounted the entire interaction, laying bare his disappointment, his confusion, and the painful sting of being told his dream was impossible. He looked to his father, not just for comfort, but for guidance from the man he trusted most in the world. His father listened intently, his gaze thoughtful, absorbing every word of David's heartbreak. After a long silence, he spoke, his voice measured and deep, imbued with the wisdom of a life lived through challenges. "Son," he began, "this decision ultimately belongs to you and no one else. If you abandon your dream now simply because someone else has declared it impossible, then you risk creating a pattern. Each time a difficulty arises, each time someone doubts you, you might be tempted to give up, to shrink your ambitions to fit their limited perceptions." He paused, letting the weight of his words settle. "But," he continued, his voice gaining a quiet strength, "if you hold on to that dream, if you cling to it with unwavering tenacity, no matter how daunting, how impractical, how utterly impossible it seems in this moment, then one day, David, one day you might just defy every expectation and make it an undeniable reality." His father's words were not a command, but an affirmation of David's innate right to choose his own path. They were a seed of courage planted in fertile ground. The father's words resonated deeply within David. For an entire week, he wrestled with the dilemma, the teacher's pragmatic warnings warring with his father's powerful message of conviction. He reread his essay, stared at his meticulous sketch of the 200-acre ranch. Was he being foolish? Was Mr. Peterson right? The doubts gnawed at him, but beneath them, a stubborn flame of determination flickered, refusing to be extinguished. He thought about the horses, the open fields, the life he envisioned, a life not just practical but purposeful. He realized that changing his dream for a grade wasn't just about academic compliance, it was about compromising his very soul. It was about allowing someone else to define the boundaries of his potential. In the end, the choice was clear. A week later, David walked back into Mr. Peterson's classroom, the same essay, the one marked with the crimson F, clutched firmly in his hand. He approached the teacher's desk, his youthful shoulders squared, his gaze direct and resolute. "Sir," he declared, his voice firm, carrying a conviction that belied his years, "I understand your perspective, and I respect it. But I cannot, under any circumstances, change my dream simply for a better grade. I will accept the F." Mr. Peterson looked at the boy, truly looked at him, perhaps for the very first time. He saw not a defiant child, but a young man possessed by an unshakable spirit, a quiet strength that refused to bend. There was a unique determination in David's eyes, a refusal to break that Mr. Peterson had rarely encountered. Yet, despite this newfound observation, the F remained. The grade stood, a silent testament to a conflict of ideals, a clash between practicality and boundless aspiration. Years unfolded, marked by the relentless march of time. Mr. Peterson, now a respected retired educator, organized an annual camping trip for his former students, a cherished tradition. This particular year, the excursion led them deep into the serene, picturesque countryside, a verdant expanse dotted with rolling hills and tranquil streams. As they journeyed, a magnificent sight gradually emerged on the horizon, a sprawling, meticulously maintained horse ranch, radiating an aura of prosperity and meticulous care. The property was immense, breathtaking in its scale and beauty. Intrigued, Mr. Peterson guided his group toward the grand entrance, a sense of wonder slowly blooming within him. As they drew closer, a figure emerged from one of the impressive stables, moving with an air of quiet authority. The ranch owner came forward to greet them, a warm smile gracing his features. As the man drew nearer, the features became startlingly familiar. Mr. Peterson's breath caught in his throat. It was David. Not just a David, but the David, the very boy whose grand dream he had so confidently dismissed as unrealistic, stamping it with a damning F all those years ago. The teacher stood there, stunned, his gaze sweeping across the vast, perfectly appointed 200-acre ranch. It was an uncanny, almost surreal replica of the detailed sketch David had meticulously drawn in his essay. Every stable, every training arena, every dimension brought to life with astonishing precision. The realization hit Mr. Peterson like a physical blow. This wasn't just a successful property, it was a living, breathing testament to an impossible dream made real. The silence between them stretched, thick with unspoken history and the profound weight of a past judgment. With a heavy heart, burdened by the realization of his past mistake and a hint of profound regret etched upon his features, Mr. Peterson finally approached David. His voice, usually so steady, was now soft, tinged with emotion. "David," he began, his eyes clouded with a mixture of awe and sorrow, "I have something I must confess to you." He paused, gathering his thoughts, then continued. "That day, when I gave you an F, it wasn't just about your dream. It was about mine. I too once harbored grand, ambitious visions, much like yours. But life has a way of wearing you down. It convinced me, over time, that big dreams were merely theoretical, meant only for the pages of an essay, never for the messy reality of existence." His gaze swept over the expansive ranch, a vivid, undeniable refutation of his former cynicism. "I tried to stop you," he admitted, his voice cracking slightly, "because I didn't want you to experience the disappointment, the suffering, the inevitable crushing of spirit that I had endured. I genuinely believed I was protecting you." He looked back at David, his eyes now shimmering with unshed tears. "But I see now, with humbling clarity, how terribly wrong I was." The words flowed, a torrent of long-held regret. "I have stood before so many children," Mr. Peterson confessed, "and told them their aspirations were beyond their grasp, that their dreams were impossible. And they believed me. They accepted those limitations." His voice became a whisper, laced with profound admiration. "But you, David, you didn't. You held on to your dream with an unwavering faith, an unyielding resolve. And today, you have not only made it real, but you have also awakened something within me that I thought was long dead." Standing there, amidst the tangible proof of David's triumph, Mr. Peterson sighed, a sound heavy with self-reflection. "I realize now," he said, his voice tinged with a quiet reverence, "that I betrayed my own dreams, allowing life's disappointments to dictate my possibilities. But you, David, you have shown me, truly shown me, that genuine dreamers, the ones who possess real conviction, never, ever give up." David simply smiled, a warm, understanding expression that held no trace of pride or bitterness, only a deep, abiding sense of gratitude and shared humanity. He understood the teacher's journey, recognizing the wisdom gained from a life fully lived, even through its regrets. Even today, within the impressive office of his magnificent ranch, David keeps a treasured memento. Near his expansive desk, prominently displayed and elegantly framed, hangs that very essay, the one marked with the bold red F. It's not just a piece of paper, it's a powerful, tangible symbol, a testament to his victory, not merely over a grade, but over doubt, skepticism, and the perceived impossibilities of the world. It serves as a constant, quiet reminder that belief, when coupled with relentless effort, can shatter any barrier. So, let this be your call to action. Never, ever permit anyone to steal your dreams, no matter how outlandish they may seem to others. Work tirelessly. Dedicate yourself fiercely to achieving what your heart truly desires. Understand this fundamental truth. No dream is inherently too big, and certainly none is too small if you genuinely commit to transforming it into reality. Chase your aspirations with an unyielding, relentless spirit. Turn your dreams, those beautiful visions in your mind, into concrete, actionable goals. Because dreams are meant to be seen, to inspire, to guide, but goals are meant to be achieved. Take that first step, then the next, and refuse to be deterred. Your masterpiece awaits.